3 bags, and 1 greedy thought. There are moments in life when we are not tested by pain. We are tested by the thing we desire most. A poor man can endure hunger. He can endure cold nights. He can endure being looked down on. But can he remain honest when money is placed right in front of him? This is the story of Jake, a young man who had lived almost his whole life with honesty. But in one moment of weakness, he lost the greatest chance of his life. Jake lived in a small village near a hill. He was poor, very poor. His roof leaked when it rained. His shoes were torn, and many nights he went to sleep hungry. But Jake had never stolen. He had never cheated. He had never taken what did not belong to him. People often said, "Jake may be poor, but his heart is clean." One evening, after searching all day for work and finding nothing, Jake walked home with an empty stomach. In his pocket, he had only 1 small coin, not enough to buy bread. As he walked along the quiet road, he whispered to himself, "Tomorrow will be better. As long as I stay honest, life will not abandon me forever." Just then, a weak voice called from behind him, "Young man, could you help me?" Jake turned around. An old man stood there in a worn-out cloak. Beside him were 3 large bags. They looked heavy. The old man said, "I need to reach the village beyond the hill, but I am too old to carry all these bags. If you carry one for me, I will give you 3 gold coins." 3 gold coins. Jake froze. To others, it might not be much, but to Jake, it meant food. It meant fixing his roof. It meant one night without fear of tomorrow. So he nodded. "Yes, sir. I'll help you." Jake lifted the first bag. It was very heavy. "What is inside?" he asked. The old man said, "Copper coins." Jake carried the bag and walked beside him. After a while, Jake noticed the old man kept looking at him. Jake thought, "He must be afraid I'll run away." Then he told himself, "No, I'm not that kind of person. I may be poor, but I still have dignity." Soon, they reached a river. The old man stopped. "I cannot cross with 2 bags," he said. "Carry 1 more for me, and I will pay you 3 more gold coins." 6 gold coins. Jake nodded. "All right, give me the bag." But the old man held it tightly. "Promise me you won't run away." Jake frowned. "Do you think I'm a thief?" The old man said, "This bag contains silver." Jake stared at the bag. Silver. For a moment, something moved inside him, but he pushed it away. "I would never sell my honor for money," Jake said. The old man looked at him for a long time. Then he let go. Jake carried the second bag across the river. It was heavier than the first. His shoulders burned. His legs shook. But he made it across. And deep inside, he felt proud. "I did the right thing. I'm still myself." Then they reached a steep hill. The old man stopped again. "I cannot climb with this last bag," he said. Jake wiped the sweat from his face. "Then give it to me. I'll carry it too." The old man looked straight into his eyes. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure." The old man lowered his voice. "This bag contains gold." Jake stood still. Gold. A bag full of gold. Not just food for a few days. Not just enough to fix his roof. A bag of gold could change his entire life. He could buy a new house. He would never have to beg for work again. People would no longer look at him with pity. The old man said, "If you run away, I will never be able to catch you." Jake felt his face grow hot. "I told you," he said. "I'm not a thief." The old man nodded slowly. "Very well, I trust you." He handed Jake the final bag. Jake lifted it onto his shoulder. Then he began climbing the hill. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Each step felt heavier than the last. Behind him, the old man's footsteps grew farther and farther away. Halfway up the hill, Jake stopped. He turned and looked back. The old man was far below. Slow, weak, alone. There was no one around. No travelers. No guards. No witnesses. Only Jake. 3 bags. And 1 thought. Just run. Jake froze. He shook his head. "No, I can't think like that." He tried to keep walking, but the thought came back. The old man could never catch me. Jake clenched his jaw. "I'm not a thief," he whispered. But another voice rose inside him. "You have been honest your whole life. And what has it given you?" Jake looked down at his torn shoes. He remembered his leaking roof, his empty stomach, the people who had refused to hire him. The pity in their eyes. The voice whispered again, This is your chance. You may never get another one. Jake looked back once more. The old man was still far away. Very slow. Very weak. He is old. Jake thought. What does he need all this money for? Then another thought followed. But I am young. I still have my whole life ahead of me. In his mind, Jake saw a new life. A warm house. A table full of food. Clean clothes. Respect. No more hunger. No more shame. At that moment, he still could have turned back. He could have placed the bags down. He could have waited. He could have protected the honest man he had always been. But greed does not always shout. Sometimes, it whispers. And sometimes, the whisper is enough. Jake opened his eyes. Then he ran. He ran down the hill. He ran through the trees. He ran as if he were escaping poverty itself. His heart pounded. His breath became rough. The bags cut into his shoulders. But he did not stop. When Jake reached home, he slammed the door shut. His hands were shaking. He stared at the 3 bags on the floor. Then he laughed. Finally, my life is going to change. He opened the first bag, but his smile disappeared. There were no copper coins, only stones. He opened the second bag. Stones again. His breathing became shallow. No. He rushed to the third bag, the one that was supposed to contain gold. He opened it with trembling hands. Stones. Only stones. Jake collapsed onto the floor. No copper. No silver. No gold. No new life. Only 3 bags of stones. And one terrible truth. He had betrayed himself for something that did not even exist. Then he saw a small piece of paper inside the last bag. With shaking hands, he picked it up. It said, I am not a poor old man. I am the king of this land. I am old. I have no children and no heir. For years, I have searched for an honest person, someone who could remain righteous, even when no one was watching. Today, I thought that person was you. If you had not run away, I would have adopted you as my son. And after my death, you would have become king. You did not lose 3 bags of gold. You lost an entire kingdom. The paper slipped from Jake's hand. He sat there, unable to move. Outside, rain began to fall. Water dripped through his broken roof onto the cold floor, just like every other night. But tonight was different. Before, Jake had been poor, but his heart was at peace. Tonight, he was still poor, but he had lost that peace forever. He remembered his own words. I'm not a thief. I would never sell my honor for money. I am an honest man. Each word cut into his heart. Jake did not cry because he had lost gold. There had never been any gold. He cried because he had seen the person he was afraid of becoming. A person willing to betray trust. A person willing to take what was not his. A person who let greed win. He had lived honestly for many years. But one uncontrolled thought was enough to destroy everything. There are moments in life when we think no one can see us. No one knows what we are thinking. No one will discover what we are about to do. But there is always one person watching. Ourselves. Jake did not lose because he was poor. He did not lose because he was evil. He lost because he allowed one greedy thought to enter his mind, grow stronger, and control his actions. A bad thought begins. Very small. It only whispers. Just this once. No one will know. You deserve this. This chance will never come again. But if we do not stop it, a thought becomes desire. Desire becomes choice. Choice becomes action. And one action can change an entire life. So protect your mind. Because before a person betrays someone else, they often betray themselves first. If one day you stand before temptation, remember Jake. Maybe it is not 3 bags of gold. Maybe it is a small lie. A chance to cheat. A secret betrayal. A decision that seems unimportant. But behind that one moment, may be the future you were meant to receive. The greatest reward does not always go to the smartest person or the strongest person. It goes to the one who keeps a righteous heart, even when no one is watching. And remember, a thought may begin as only a seed, but if you keep feeding it, it will become your destiny.